Let me explain something to y'all, man. I don't like to make too many I want to say quote unquote speeches, but it's time. It's time. Every now and then I like to rant, and it's mainly because of the disappointments. It's mainly because uh what I see today. Uh, but guess what? It's not all about them. The main reason why I come on here screaming and fussing is because of disappointments that I may or may not have, or have had, or going to have in life. But what lit the spark uh, is probably a good way of saying it. What lit the spark is the fact that I knew I could do better. People asked and begged of me better. It's gonna be this rant, quote unquote rant or lesson plan today is gonna be about one V best. And the V in my middle name could stand for anything, far as I'm concerned. But I'm the only kid I know with African American ancestry with a first name that's derived from Spanish, middle name that's derived from what I believe to be Italian, and the last name that comes from the fact that I was born to a family with the last name Best, and that's the greatest part of my name that I love is giving me an identification. But none of those people and none of those things that I just mentioned are excuses for me to become anything less than a man. And back to my point, like I told you, the one thing that sparked my interest of coming on YouTube, I'm not a fan of social media at all. Because I could barely contain myself when I'm talking to an individual, and when I hear some of the dumbest things on that comes out of these young kids' mouth, or teenagers, or young adults, or old ass men, it's the thing that pisses me off. So it's the responses that I've been seeing lately that's kind of enraged me. But I'm not a fan of social media whatsoever. And I don't know how this conversation gonna go, but today I just felt like ranting. And it has really nothing to do with you guys or who I've been cutting down. It's mainly about me and disappointments and things and events that have happened in my life. You could take this lesson as you want to take it, or you could turn it off. I keep telling y'all the same thing. Don't sit there and listen to all this stuff and then get mad and don't do nothing with the information I'm giving you. The point and the understanding is to take what I'm teaching you or what I'm telling you as life lessons and go apply it somewhere else. You can't apply it over here arguing with me. You're not gonna get anywhere. My mom could tell you that. Stubborn, trifling, hard headed, tough ass. All those things apply to me. But I had my hits in life, just like the rest of it. I do this because I want to change things, not just for you, but for me. And none of what I just said has anything to do with materialistic items. Nothing what I said applies to talking about materialistic things or materialistic views in this world. None of it. It's the hope that I'm talking about. Some substance, some perspective, some ideal, some goals in life, and you can do way better than what the hell y'all doing. So I'm not just coming on here to cut down on you. I'm cutting down on myself too because I expect more. But the one specific incident that sparked the rage in me and the pain and the past memories is the fact that every time I turn on the TV, I see incidents of infants, young kids, babies being gunned down because we have idiotic black men running the streets, repping something that they don't own, like the neighborhood or the hood itself. And I don't understand that. But that's what it was that sparked me. That's where the rage came from. Mothers in the street crying, covered up with sheets, and the tape line. I don't know why it pisses me off, but we're gonna get into what I think may be the reason for me and where the rage is coming from. But everybody deserves to live their life out to the fullest extent possible. Nobody should be checking out of this world like that. But I see, not the police, not not the government. I see black men going after black men. So the rage and the idea came from watching y'all day in and day out kill one another and celebrate with no respect for life. And that's where we part ways at. That's where we separate ourselves. I'm not an animal. My mother didn't raise an animal. I was taught and raised mostly by women. My ideas may be something like my father, but I'm not even half the man he is. He did more in his 40 something years that I half the time. He was a smart man, cool as hell. Matter of fact, I could tell you about my father like this. What I remember most. There's only one person, and I'm talking about a man who had lived 40 something years. There's only one person that I know was brave enough to try to say something to my father. Only one person was able to spark any anger or get any movement or conversation from it. There was one person, only one person, that could ruffle my father's feathers. And you know who that was? My grandmother, his mother. I have never seen anybody check my father or make him feel like he was wrong about anything. And that argument, which I haven't even asked my grandma to this day what it was about. I knew that she was right in what she was saying and how she stood up for my mother. I never even told my mama this here. Yeah, I watched my grandmother go off on my father, and it was for the right reason. And I never told her that because it was no need to bring it back up. Couldn't get mad at her because she was right. But that tells you what type of man he was. He walked with confidence. Yeah, he drank too much, but he was a man's man, and he ain't clean, and I ain't clean either. But I know he would be totally disappointed. Not totally. He might be encouraged by some of the things he's seen out of me or wish for me to do or accomplish. But I felt like I'm disappointing him or I have disappointed him because I could have done a whole lot better in doing what he asked me to do. And that's take care of my mom and my sister. That's why I felt like I failed. But I'll never be uh, the type of man he was. Not even half. Because what he had going for himself was the respect. And whether you like him or dislike him, you never said it to his face. And that's confidence that you can't teach. That's a man. And one thing I never seen is a whole bunch of people following behind him. That's a man. That's confidence. I respected him, but only one person was brave enough or thought enough to say, well, you know what? This is the one area that I feel like he was wrong in. And that was his mother. That's why she get the utmost respect for me. But at the same time, the reason why I feel the disappointment or the anger comes in is just the fact that I spent a great deal of my life trying to believe what I think that he would want me to do. I already know he told me. So the disappointment, like I said earlier, comes in the fact that I haven't done what I expect, what I think he expected me to do. See what I'm saying? And we talking about some serious things here. We talking about value. Part of that is being a man and taking those instructions not only from him, but from the other men in my life, like my uncle Johnny. You know, my uncle CJ. We talking about my father's side of the family, people that he know well. We talking about my aunts, Aunt Elta Jane, Aunt Bob, Uncle Ronnie. Uncle Terry. This is what I was exposed to. None of them guys, dead or alive, will agree to some of the stuff. Ain't no way in the hell with the stuff that I'm doing or you guys are doing. And like I said, ain't all of them ain't clean, and I ain't clean either. But we don't do no stuff like what y'all doing out here. I seen some things when I came up that made me question some things. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, why is this here, or why is he acting like that? No, it ain't had nothing to do with it. That's the way they walked and talked. But they got the respect and they got the honor, and they taught their kids like my father taught me for the time they we was alive. And if you didn't get it from him, you best believe everybody who was around him, including family members, knew how to walk and talk and carry themselves as men, drinking or not drinking. You still a man, and that's why I wish he was still alive, because I probably could have got some more guidance. I wish he was alive and he could still, look here, son. You know you wrong for this shit. Ain't no way in the hell you think you gonna get away with this. Him, come see me. That's the reason why I do what I do. Not only because of him, but because of my mother, who I owe so much to. You I ain't, if you talking materialism, no, I ain't got nothing like that. No, I got value in the other degree. It's that people believed in me so much so that they put their investments. They stopped to talk to me to try to change my life or save it. And the one person that was constantly doing that is my mother, of course, because the people saw value in me. She saw value in me. But she was just like my father got it from his mother. My mother checked me all the time. And I know uh, what I'm doing or what I have doing is uh, not impressive. If you could say it like that. But my mother was right. And everything she said to me, I didn't want to hear it, but it was the truth. And you sitting around here you making excuses for everything. You making excuses for everything. I ain't taught you nothing about being a dope head. I ain't taught you nothing about making excuses for your life. You're a grown man. Do what you're supposed to do, and stop making a big fuss out of it. You know, I get my attitude from my mom. Ain't no question about it. But I'm not even half the person that she is. You talking about a black woman uh, that has done a lot for her entire family. And may I repeat this here because it's true. This is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about strength, maturity. At a young age, my mother, along with the help of another gentleman who was always trying to teach me everything about being a man, you know what I'm saying? And he ain't get all his prop. Eddie Green, who I call Pops, because he acted like one, just like my father acted like one. He wasn't my biological father, but this man taught me a great deal about being supportive. And he already told me, I know you ain't clean. No, no, you stole from me. I know you ain't clean. Man, you certain things want you to learn how to be a man. And I'm here to try to teach you and help you in any kind of way. But you ought not be doing this to your mom. That's who I learned from. And all that stuff is way more valuable than materialistic stuff that y'all think is an excuse to try to take and rob and beat and kill and murder your own kind. I'm not that. That's where we separate. So I take all those investments that people taught me, and I made changes late in life. But this is why I do what I do. Why I do what I do. Part three. If you missed the first 2 lessons, you better go back and check the channel because they up there. Why I do what I do. And I hope I got the titles right, but I don't know if I didn't. You better go through all of them. But this is what this channel is for. Changing lives for the better or learning how to change lives. I don't want to check out of this world knowing that I could have made an extra effort. I could go tomorrow. But the one thing won't change is he ain't never said nothing about this or he ain't never. No, you got it now. This is my blueprint. The last dawn, the last words of the last dawn. Even I give myself dumb titles, but that's one of them. And my objective ain't gonna change. So when I told you I just got started, yeah, I'm late in the game. I just got started. I can't stand social media whatsoever. But it's not gonna change my goals. You know why? Because I owe all them people I just mentioned. Like my Uncle Ray, who was also like a father to me. Cut my behind, cut my ass a couple of times too. And I appreciate him for it. Uncle Ray, you did exactly what you were supposed to do. My Uncle Tyrone fed me and clothed me. Never once did he ever say, man, it's not my job to take care of you. His wife, my aunt, Irita, took care of me. Wasn't bitter about it. Took care of me. I owe all them people. I ain't got no money, but I owe them. And I respect that. My Aunt May, another woman, took care of me and my sister. Didn't cry about it. Didn't say I want my money back. And guess what? Every time when I was on that dope and alcohol, all them people I just mentioned, I stole from. Now how you gonna make that stuff up? You know how you make it up? Stop apologizing and go to work. You repay it. If not financially, you repay it like doing stuff like this here. If you're too late to change your life, and some of y'all know exactly where you are at this point, if you're too late to change your life, you're never too late to change it for somebody else. That's the reason why I started this channel. That's the reason why I can't stop. That's the reason why my foot gonna be so far up y'all ass until I change it for somebody. Because I could be doing a whole lot more than what I'm doing. I could have done a whole lot more than what I did.
I can understand that you're tired of talking boxing because you've been doing it a long, long time. Does it mean that you're also tired of boxing itself?
Oh, naturally. I've announced my retirement a couple times, and I unretired the next day. So I'm not going to do it again, but this very well could be my last time in the ring. This one coming up, but I'm not going to say it is, because people have a right not to believe me. But I'll just get out when it's time. Somebody's got to put up $18 million before we go in the ring. And if they do that, I'll fight him. Because for me to get 12, I only keep 4. And I have too much to give up. I can beat Norton, but it's always close. And for me to have to go in training for another 6 months at my age, 36 years old, I beat Norton twice, fought him 3 times, fought Frazier 3 times, beat him twice, beat George Foreman. And I've been fighting so long, you know that. So for me to take his old body and to get up, they're going to have to, it's worth at least $4 million for me. So to get 4, I need to ask 12. And Norton, he wants 4, which he deserves. Promotion need 2. So they need about $16 million. And if somebody will put up $16 million on the bank, I'll fight. And it's important to me, to my people, to black people, and all my true fans, that I retire on top, and I can always live with myself. Now, say there's a heaven and hell, which I believe. Now, I don't want to go to hell, so God's judging how I treat people. So I'm going to spend the rest of my life working for God, working for humanity, doing something. See, God don't care about me being Muhammad Ali, the great champion. God don't care about this BBC television show. He don't care if you're president of ABC, NBC, or CBS. He's gonna want to know there's no VIP treatment in heaven. God's not going to ask you your color, your race, but how did you treat people? What did you do? But my little daughter, Hannah, or my little baby daughter, Layla, makes me more happy and worth more than me than the world title and all the $50 million I made, and that's just a little baby. So the true happiness is in things that really are insignificant. We look at it as being insignificant.
I could have been a better brother, a whole lot more supportive to my sister. But you know the one thing that separates me? I'm not a killer. I'm not out here killing my own people. I'm not out here actively gunning people down with no respect for life, be it black, white, Chinese, Latino, or Latin descent, Asian. It doesn't make a difference. They are all my brothers and they are all y'all's too. One world, one people, one family. One world, one people, one family. And that's a doggone shame that every time we turn on TV, we got to see idiots out there. But those are your brothers. And sometimes I believe I'm a man of faith, but you go back and check my channel. If you listen to it, you say, ain't no way in the hell he no, well, hey, look at it. Sometimes look at it like this. Sometimes I have to say what I got to say in order to change lives. And I use profanity. Not my best moments. Sometimes I don't even know if I'm using them right. But once again, I learn from who I learn from. But these type of people, man. So y'all have those kind of people. I'm pretty sure y'all have those kind of people that investing in y'all. That's an investment. Everything don't have to be about money. Everything don't have to be about destroying other families, taking one another out. Where you going? Nowhere. And when you gonna pay that tab? Whenever God get tired of it. And that's what I believe. So you're not escaping. You're not escaping. None whatsoever. You're gonna wear this hand. That's what I mean by when I say what I say. That's why I'm passionate. And guess what? That's why I ain't gonna never stop. Because the goal of this channel is to save lives no matter what. You can go and do whatever you want to do. As long as you ain't out here in these streets killing innocent babies and kids because you don't even know how to first learn how to hold a gun. These motherfuckers, oh boy. I don't know why that pisses me off. Every time I see a gun turn side, no, I have some of the dumbest idealisms ever. But I don't know why I get pissed off, especially when I don't even get mad when somebody hold a gun right, but to turn it sideways and to turn your hat sideways. Don't ask me why that pisses me off, but it does. And then your clothes is down, your belt is down there, but man, you can't even defend yourself. It says a lot about y'all character. If you can't even hold, oh boy, if you can't even put your clothes on right, if you don't, even, that's much less. We talking about at least dressing the part. Y'all niggas can't even dress the part. Your clothes falling off your behind, and so is your life. It's falling by to the wayside. And you don't even care enough to pull your pants up or pull your life together. Oh boy, just sick. And guess what? The same thing I'm telling you, the same emotions is the same emotions that the people had about me. But you know what? They love me. And I love you too. I love you enough to tell you the truth. So we're gonna be real over here. So if I can come in here and cut you down, I can come in here and tell you about me and cut myself down. So now you know a little bit. So you can't say you ain't never known nothing or he don't talk about it. He cutting everybody else down. He ain't talk about it. Well, now you got it. Now you know why I do what I do. Part 3. First 2 lessons, go back and check. Because I may have to go back and check too, because I ain't sure what I know they on there. But the goal ain't gonna change, and I ain't gonna change either. So if you got upset, then you gonna stay upset. Because I'm gonna be the one to take you through that door. I keep telling y'all that. I'm gonna be the one to take you through that door.
Must be his fault. That we're going into so many chambers. You know what I'm saying? You know how you open up a one door and then it leads to another door, and you just see a whole hallway of doors. You know them like them crazy ass movies, and you look down the hall, a long hallway. Bitch, we going down that hallway. We gonna take a stroll down that long hallway. And we, you know how you see that one door way at the motherfucking end of that long hall. I'm gonna take you through that door. Yes, sir. I'm gonna be the one that takes you through that door.
But you're getting value and you're getting knowledge by how not to throw your life away, whether you got something, whether you got the nicest car, whether you got the biggest house, on the biggest hill, on the biggest side of town, whatever, or on the littlest hill, on the littlest side of town. Poor, rich, it don't make no difference. You're all my brother. I love you enough to tell you when you're wrong, but I can also love you enough to tell you when I'm wrong. So if you don't want to admit it, guess what? I can admit it. So you killers out there, guess what? I'm gonna tell you something else. You're not the only person responsible for taking a life. I am too. And wanna know how? Arguing with one of my best friends in the world. See, I can be real. If I can come on here and cut you down, I can come on here and tell you the truth. That's the reason why. First time ever. First time ever. Last time ever. Yeah, I was responsible for somebody losing their life. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because if I can do it to you, I can do it to me too. On this channel, you ain't got nothing to be afraid of. The only fear that I have for myself as you is not being honest. Being honest prevents all the other BS. Because once you're honest, you can go right back to the source. You can go right back to the pain. And I have never heard anything but respect for me, the chance for me from that family, the Riley family. I'm responsible for a member of their family. Their grandmother lost her life because of me, because she stood up for what was right, and that was for her grandson, Colton Riley, who at the time was one of the best friends, if not the best friend I ever had. And that family recognized something in me to not charge me with manslaughter or murder. That's forgiveness. Knowing that the person standing before you is responsible for your grandmother losing her life because she was trying to stand up to the violence. No, I didn't walk in her house to kill her, but I still caused her death because I went in there to my best friend's door and started fighting him. She loved me so much and she loved him so much that her job was to stop us from fighting because we were like brothers. You never saw one without the other. Me and Colton Riley. I even whooped somebody's ass because they was jumping on Colton Riley. They were scared of me, but they weren't scared of him. And they tried to kill him, man. I told him, I said, man, I'm your brother. But how a brother of his wind up doing some shit like what I did, trying to be real in front of my other brothers, who already knew I wasn't well, but that was a punk move what I did. And I went up there and he got tired of listening to me yell up from the window or from outside talking about me. Of course he gonna come out there and defend himself. Well, me and my best friend got to fighting. And this woman loved us both so much so that she was so shocked by it. And I ain't pay attention what the hell I was doing next time. I know she was on the ground. She later died at the hospital. That's what broke me. That's what broke me. And that woman, whoever she was that came over there and cried and poured her heart out, had to listen to me sit there and cry and not beg for my life because I was guilty. Well, no. I did that. I was guilty. They had every right to go in there and tell a person, no, we want them charged. That lady didn't have to come over there. Just like uh, they was trying to make me feel okay about it. Wasn't nothing okay about what I done. And you can't go on in life trying to make excuses for yourself. They didn't make an excuse for me. They just gave me a chance. But if anybody had the right to take my life, it would have been them. And they didn't do that. And I mean by going through the course of having me charged with murder. I don't know. Here, you got to ask me. I don't know. I don't know. But that's forgiveness. And they didn't have to do that. And I was lying at the time when I told that I said, I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna get better. But how can you replace a life? You can't. You can create life, but you can't replace the one that was there. You never can. It'll never be the same. And I ruined an entire future for a family. And all she wanted us to do was stop fighting. And I was responsible because if I never had to went up them stairs, and I was not like I lived next door. But my excuse was I wanted to get my opinion out and get my frustrations out. And I wanted to beat up my best friend, but at the same time, in the middle of that, somebody loved us both enough that she was gonna protect her grandson. And she stood up for him. And that's how she died. Because of me. Because of Warren Best. And now you understand why I got to do what I do. So I can love you enough to forgive you, but I can love you enough to come on here and be honest and tell you where the pain comes from. Ain't nothing y'all could do with that. Ain't nobody could tell me nothing about nothing. From now on, you can call me whatever you can. Man, I done been called some everything. I had somebody running behind me, and please don't ask me that. You got to ask God. I had somebody run behind me, gunning me down with a 9mm, and I know as I ran up to Monticello Road, I know I dodged at least 15 to 16 bullets. Please don't tell me nothing about God. They go, hold on for a second. Hello. Hey, how you doing? And, get back to what I was saying. I had to stop for a second. An emergency phone call. That was really important. But whew, I'm gonna get back to where I was with the family. The Ryder family actually saved my life when I didn't think it needed to be saved. And I went through some deep depression. I almost thought about committing suicide. But that's how much I love that lady. And for me to try to commit suicide uh, um, would have been a dishonor or a cheap way out. The most honorable thing I could do was try to change my life because I was on the downward spiral. I was on drugs at the time anyway, and that's not an excuse to go around here killing people and robbing people and taking somebody's life. I ain't that kind of person, you know. But it happened because of me. If I'd have sat my ass down and stopped trying to be mad at the world because the other stuff that was happening to me or had happened, and that woman would have died. Now, how you gonna pay that back? And some of y'all got more than one bodies, and it ain't even for nothing like what I done. Death is death. How you can't pay that back? Ain't enough money in the world. Anybody who would take money for something like that, and you going around killing people is sick. I was sick then, and now y'all sick now. So please don't think I'm gonna stop. And you know why? Because the Riley's grandmother. That's where the real pain starts. The other thing is just natural death, having loved ones leave you. But to go to sleep and know that you're responsible for taking somebody's life, you can't get out of that. They didn't have to forgive me. That's where my pain and my anger comes from. It's because of hurt. And from what I told, for what I'm told, and I believe the family member who came over and talked me said when she died with a smile on her face. But why should a woman have to leave that this world like that? Because of a dumbass kid that which was me next door, trying to fight his best friend, and all she ever shown me was love. That's why the thoughts of suicide came in. That's where all the other stuff, I was already on drugs at the point in time too, but it just made it worse. And I thought if I could take all the drugs in the world, it'd take that pain away. Y'all might well stop now. It's not gonna take the pain away. And suicide is the cheapest way out. What about the loved ones left behind? And they got to try to clean up your shit. And they got to stand up in the church and lie for you. So if anybody got any idea about what to say at my funeral, whatever you do, don't go to hell by going up in church and lying for me. Don't lie for me. Please don't lie for me. Save yourself. My job is to come on here and try to save as many brothers or many white people, or don't make no difference who you are or where you come from. If I could save one life from the dumbest mistake that I made and from the dumbest mistake that y'all making, intentional or unintentional, death is something you cannot pay for. Only one person did that. And we have made an excuse time and time again to try to justify taking other people's lives. You can't justify that. You can't even sleep with it because if you are and you can sleep with it, then you are sick and you really need to get some help. Check in with God, repent, do whatever you can to try to make sure that you have a nice life, not materialistic, like I done told you, but responsibility and real value, and learning how to become young men and learn how to become a son. Props to my mama. And learning how to become a father. Props to all the men whoever tried to talk me or whoever tried to teach me anything, because I owe them. And that's a bad investment when people put so much into you and y'all go around and I go around doing some stuff like this here. No more excuses. Be real about it. Because I was just like you. I was just like you. Ain't no more excuses. And if you get a problem with it, if you really got a problem with it, get at me, dog. You know how I roll. I'm out.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work, cause my boss is a jerk, and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life, cause I don't feel alive, and there's nothing that makes me happy. Hold my beer for a minute, I'm about to quit my job, cash in for a ticket. I'm going on a trip and I don't plan to visit. I'm gonna stay there till I feel like I'm winning, and this is just the beginning. I need a big change, help me feel like living. I need a big swing, home runs I'm hitting, and I'll never look back, moving on till I get it all. And we all got dreams, we all want things, but what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? And do you believe you can do anything? But what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? This is my game to play, to claim a brand new name, oh. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm a bit nervous that I might screw everything up that I've ever done. But what's the point of living if you ain't having fun? I guess I'll try this, try that, might miss, gotta find what I'm good at. I guess I look here, look there, over where am I scared, where am I at? I gotta make it in this life, whatever makes me happy, know I'm doing things right. Sipping in the summer on a goose and Sprite, or find a nightclub for the end of the night, oh. And we all got dreams, we all want things, but what you gonna do for it, how you gonna move for it, what you gonna be? And do you believe you can do anything? But what you gonna do for it, how you gonna move for it, what you gonna be?
Man chases after everything in the world. He looks for everything that appears to be happiness, but in the end he finds that there's no true happiness except in God.